Hi, Miss. Good evening.
Hi, Rosetta. Good evening. Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Okay,
That
that's
is
cool. I'm trying to configure the volume, so I guess it's okay. Yes. So, how was your day?
it was a good day, unexpected good day because when I wake up in the morning, I'm not, I don't know, but I thought that it was a bad day, but it really don't. It was only my mind, I think.
Oh yes, yes. It's sometimes it happens, but the good news that you had a great day, right?
Yeah. And you,
That's
Miss?
cool.
How was your day?
Everything was great. Thank you for asking. Everything was great. It was a quiet day. It was a beautiful day. Yes, nothing new. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
So,
That's great.
thank you. So, we're going to continue, please. We stop in reflexive pronouns, right?
Yep.
Okay, so, all right. We're going to start with today's classes. And give me a second, please. All right, so we're going to see the past continuous time tense. This is about the continuous again, right? When we talk about the whatever time tense that it has a continuous form, it means the ing. Okay, it means that the action is in progress or was in progress or it's going to be in progress at some time. But we focus on the continuation of an action. It always happens when we have a continuous form. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Once you can see it, please let me know.
Okay. Okay, it's perfect.
Okay. So, all right. So we're going to start, right? We have some examples there. Was thinking, we're doing, and we're learning. So, let's listen to the audio.
Hi. I was just thinking about our last class. What were we doing then? Do you remember? We were learning about the gerund. Well, today we're going to learn about the past continuous. Was thinking, were doing, and were learning are examples of the past continuous.
Okay, so notice that all of those verbs are conjugated into the continuous form. So we are going to see the timeline. Okay, we have the past, we have now, and we have the future. We're going to listen the first audio. We're going to see the first example, and we're going to watch how it works. We're going to concentrate in our timeline because it is linked with the example. So let's listen.
We use the past continuous to talk about something that was in progress at a specific time in the past. When we use the past continuous, we are not interested in when the activity ended.
It was about 10 o'clock. I was having something to drink at the juice bar at my health club.
In the example, Nick started having something to drink before 10 o'clock. We do not know what time he stopped drinking.
Okay, so in our first example, we can see that the next example is it was 10 and I was having something to drink at the juice bar at my health. Okay, it's important to know that when we use this time tense, right, as it is in the past, again, it is in the past, right? We are not interested when the activity ended. Okay, the only important part, okay, could be the ing from the continuous, from the progressive action. Okay, so in this case, we have two actions where the first one is that it was 10, and then we have I was having something to drink. Okay, so as you can see, we are using a reference, okay, to mention the time. when the action started. Okay, so it's up to you if you're going to do it or not. We actually do it, right? But it's up to you again. If it requires, if you want to provide more information, you can do it. But if you look for it as a unnecessary information, you can also omit it. Okay, and yes, okay. We're going to continue with our timeline. We have the past. Okay, so the action is started at 10. Okay, so it was in progress. Okay, it was in progress. So it means that the action is started in the past, and the action continued for 3 hours. Could be in this case, right? We're going to suppose, I don't know exactly for how much time that the action was in progress, but it's only an example. So in that case, we are saying, okay, that the action was in progress. Okay, so it's up to you. Okay, it's up to you if you want to give the time, but again, I mean the time when the action started. Okay, another thing that it's important to remember is that the past continuous, right? It was an action, okay, that was in progress at some specific time in the past. Okay, so yes. Is there any question until this part?
Yes. As I see in the time tense table, so, the time chart, it's important that the action it was ended, right? Because
Yes,
it's not interest when the activity ended, but it's important that the activity end in the past, right?
yes, for that reason we use the past, because we already assume that the action has ended. Okay.
Oh, okay.
If we're going to use the past continuous, it means that at some point in the past, right, the action took place, right? It was in progress, and now the action is not in progress anymore. Okay.
I have some issue about that because I saw that the tenses in English, so I have a really issue why is the really past, because I remember that one or two tenses, it doesn't matter if it's and 30 seconds ago, for example, is it considered really a past? For example, in this example in past continuous, if the action ended I don't know 1 minute in the past, it's from now it's really a past, so I can use the past continuous.
Yes, for sure. When the action finished, okay, it is already a past action. Okay. So we use words like just, right? And we have more, right? We have only 3, right? The first one is just, the other one, don't remember exactly what are the 2 ones, but the most frequently is just to indicate that the action just finished.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to mention the near past, that it was just past, but now it's not happening, right? It's not happening anymore. So you have to use the past automatically. Okay. So then there is a possibility that maybe it depends, because we have a different past tenses, right? We have past perfect, past perfect continuous, we have the past continuous. Okay. So you have to see what does your context, or what is the context that you want to express. Okay. So from that you have to take care. Okay. But in talking about the past continuous, okay, when the action finished, okay, and it happens with almost all the past tenses, but there is a notable difference. Okay. Yes, there are some characteristics from each time tense that you have to follow. You have to see if your context requires. Okay, there is a subtle difference among all the past tenses. You have to take care, right? But we consider a past tense those actions that started in the past and that the action, okay, had ended at some time in the past or could be a moment ago, okay? So, for example, I just was drinking my coffee, right? And it is true, right? But now I don't have my cup of coffee is empty, right? So I drank everything. So as you can see, that was in the past. I was drinking, okay, in my coffee, but I just finished. Okay, I just finished. Okay, so that could be the explanation for the past, but we need to see that we have more time tenses in the past. But however, we need to see what are the characteristics of each time tense that contains the name past. Okay, so as I told you, there is a subtle difference, and then we need to, if I want to explain you this, we're going to need a whole class, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So I always prefer to teach first the past continuous, present continuous, and future continuous, and then continue with it. And I guess we've seen the past perfect, right? So yes, that could be. Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Miss.
But don't worry, in the book, it is structured, it is well structured because we have some, it is followed, okay, by the structure of the best learning. What do I mean with this? For example, if you want to use the past perfect, then you need to know the verbs, right, in its participle form, for example, right? So there is a guide that we have to follow in order to get all the tenses, okay, to understand all of them. So don't worry, we're going to see them. I guess the next week, right? It's about it. We have more past, right? More past tenses. So don't worry. But answering to the question, we have to see if the action has already ended. So if we're going to use the past continuous. Then we have to see, for example, if the action is going to continue or it has a relevance in the present, and then, okay, but we're going to we have to first know the past continuous, okay?
Okay. Thanks, Miss.
Okay, so don't worry, we're going to continue with the point number 2, and it is about the structure. Remember, all the ing, the continuous form, it had the same structure, almost the same structure. We use the verb to be, okay? The verb to be, the main verb plus ing. This is the structure for all the continuous form. When I say verb to be, could be for the past, was, work, in the present, is, are, right? So we need to see that. For that reason, I used the general one with the verb to be. So let's listen the audio.
We form the past continuous with was or were plus the base form of the verb plus ing. I was working. They were working. Just as we usually do not use non-action verbs in the present continuous, we do not use non-action verbs in the past continuous.
Okay, so as you can see, the first thing that we do, and I told you we omit the subject pronoun because we assume, right, that we need a subject pronoun, so it could be redundant. So for sure, just as a short reminder, okay, that we have to use the subject. We have 8 subjects again, right? So as soon as you choose your subject, right, we're going to continue with the verb to be, okay? In the verb to be, we have 2 options. In the past, it is, was, and were. right? So I'm going to choose was if it's a first, second person, third person. You were, right? I was, he, she, it, okay? It was, and then the rest of the subject pronouns, we work with the verb to be, were. Then we're going to use the main verb, okay, or the principal verb. The principal verb is going to be conjugated with the ing form, but take care. And this is what I explained you the other day. We have some non-action verbs that we don't conjugate it with the ing form because it doesn't make sense. So it depends on the context or if it implies a movement. The negative of this tense, okay, it's very easy. We only are going to add the negative, okay? The negative, let's remember, it's not, okay? This is a negative. So we could add, we could use as a separate one. I was not working, so notice. The negative goes, between the verb to be and the main verb. Okay, it goes just there in the middle.
Okay.
Then I have the option to use the contraction. I wasn't working, or the whole word, the whole phrase, I was not working. Okay, it's not, the pronunciation, right? It's like I was not, okay, it's not, I was not, no, it doesn't work. It's in Spanish, okay? So then we have to take care with on the pronunciation. I was not working, they were not working, or you can use the contraction, they weren't. Okay, notice we erase the letter O, we use the apostrophe, and we just join these two words. And yes, for example, this is incorrect because when I say Nick was having a headache, okay, the verb have in this context it has a bad usage. Why? Because it doesn't imply any movement. Okay, when you have a headache, or how could be the replace for it? As it is in past, I'm going to keep the same time tense, the past tense, instead of the continuous one. Okay, so what does it mean? I'm going to erase the continuous, I mean the ing, and I'm only going to use it into the past. Nick had a headache. If it would be the case, if we could have the case of present continuous, we are going to omit the continuous, right? And we are only going to use the present. Okay, present continuous. I was having a headache. It's incorrect. Instead of it, I'm going to say I have a headache. Okay, so yes, if it's in the past continuous, you raise a continuous form and we keep with the simple past tense. If it's in the present one, we're going to erase, we're going to omit a continuous form, and we're only going to use the simple present. Okay?
Okay. Only for remember, when we use past present perfect, it's for action that don't finish, right? It happens now, but we don't know how
the present continues, you mean, right?
Yeah, the present continues. If we use I was, what was your example? I was having a headache? No.
I was having a headache.
But this structure is not the same like past continuous. So
Well, I got lost. So could you please repeat your question?
okay. You told me an example about how we can change the tense in the sentence in order to create a good sentence. So okay, so it was I had a headache. It was your sentence. Okay.
Yes, I had a headache. The other one was I am, because we're saying we're comparing the past continuous with the present continuous, right? I am, and notice that we use the same structure, but the only thing that changes is of course the situation and the structure, the verb to be. I am having Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I get confused because I'm not sure, but I had having a headache or something like that. So
oh,
I didn't understand what happened.
no, no, I said I am having a headache. Okay.
Okay.
So in this case, as you can see, instead of using this is the past continuous, right? But here I have one verb that I can use. It is called a non-action verb. It doesn't go with the context. So I'm going to change it into the past, simple past, and that's all. In this case, the same. We're using the present continuous, but as we can use it, it is a value set of the verb having, okay, because it is an non-action verb. We're only going to use it present, a simple present, okay? So, and don't forget the period at the end of the sentence. Do you get it now?
Yeah, I get it. Thanks, Miss.
All right, don't worry. So we're going to continue then with the next point. Okay. We are going to see the use of while. So let's listen the audio.
We can use the past continuous with while to talk about two activities in progress at the same time in the past.
Nick was playing with the ball while he was talking to Talia.
You can also begin the sentence with while. While Nick was playing with the ball, he was talking to Talia.
Okay. All right, so we're going to continue with the third point, and we're going to see the use of while. We can have the situation of, for example, two actions happened at the same time. Okay, happened at the same time. How about that? Okay, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if the action was not happening at exactly that time. For example, at 10 a.m., we know that sometimes, right? One action started first, as soon as the second action could be, right? But the point here is that it was an approximately time for those actions to happen. Okay, so no importa si en realidad las dos acciones no han pasado al mismo tiempo, exactamente a la misma hora, al mismo segundo, sin embargo, cuando tienen un aproximado, ¿ok? O cuando de repente las dos acciones chocaron, what do I mean with this? The first action, oh, what is it? The first action, the second action, so the point is here, okay?
Okay.
So we have two actions that happened at the same time, ¿ok? No importa tanto el tiempo, si es que ha empezado una más antes que la otra, lo importante es que las dos acciones han, acción número uno, acción número dos, han chocado, right? So to express that situation, to express or to talk about two activities in progress at the same time in the past, again, we're talking about the past continuous, we're going to use while. And Nick was, and we have two such, right? We have two structures for it. The first one, as you've seen before listening the audio, we have two sentences, right? Nick was playing with the ball, or Nick was talking to Talia, right? So as soon as I finish the first section, okay, then I'm going to place while, then I'm going to continue with my second action, okay? Nick was playing with the ball while he was talking to Talia, or I could say he was talking to Talia while Nick was playing with the ball. Okay, so there is no difference in meaning because of this, okay? Because of this. Then we can also begin the sentence with while, okay? While Nick was playing with the ball, but notice that we're using comma in order to separate the first sentence with the second one, okay? So the first clause is finished while Nick was playing with the ball, finished. Then he was talking to Talia, okay? So you have two options, okay? But the meaning is the same, okay? There is no problem with the meaning. You can use, or you can place it at the middle, or you can place it at the beginning, and again, the meaning is not going to change. So, what else? What else? Notice the structure. Okay, we have the subject, the verb to be, the main verb, and the ing form. We have the complement. Again, subject, verb to be, in the past, the main verb plus ing. Again, subject, verb to be, main verb, ing, complement, and then, okay? So it's up to you with just this structure you are going to use, but remember, if you're going to start with while, then you don't have to forget the use of the comma. Okay, this only applies in writing for sure. Okay, so is there any question maybe about point number 3?
Yeah. For example, if imagine that Nick was doing other thing, add one thing. So for example, a third thing, it's a word. So for example, I don't know, cooking the dinner. So we have to add only cooking the dinner. So is it possible, for example, Nick was playing with the ball while he was talking to Talia and cooking the dinner, or what was the structure? What is the structure?
Yes, you could do it. You could do it, right? For example, Nick was we're going to take another example. My mother was cooking, right, and washing the dishes while I was cleaning my room. While I was cleaning my room. So I have 3 actions in one. The only thing that you have to see is that don't repeat. Okay, so okay. For example, my mom. Okay, so I have the first subject. My mom was cooking. Okay. My mom was also doing the second action. Okay. In this case, my mom was cooking, and yes, come. And was, right, and I'm not, no, we're going to directly write the other main verb, right? Yes, my mom was cooking and washing the plate, the dishes, right? My mom was cooking and washing the dishes, okay? We have 2 actions, and notice that I'm not repeating the subject, neither the verb to be. Why? Because it is redundant, okay? My mom was cooking and my mom was washing the dishes. Okay, so it is redundant. So I have the option to do it a short sentence. So I'm going to do it. Then I'm going to say while, okay, because I want to describe the other action, the third action in this case that was also in progress at some point in the past. The subject, me. While I was reading and drinking, was reading and drinking my juice, and that's all. Okay, so I have 4 actions, as you can see. Okay, so yes, it's okay. There is no problem. You can place. We have 1 action, 2 actions, 3 actions, and 4 actions. Okay, so yes, the answer is yes, you can do it. Okay,
Okay,
so don't repeat the subject.
Okay, perfect. I knew that it was possible to add more, but I'm not sure if we have to add with auxiliary, for example, was, or it was right to only to repeat or to add the verb in ing. So it is correct, so only the verb in ing, right?
The point here is that you want to demonstrate that the action was in the past. It was in the continuous form, more than the past was in the continuous form. So if those actions that you are going to mention, if those were in progress in the past, so yes, you can do it. Okay. But if then you want to add another time tense, you can also do it, but it's apart from the lesson. Okay, it's apart from the sentence, apart from the context, though. Okay, so yes, you can do it. You can do it, but apart from the lesson. Okay, apart from your context. I mean, Se puede hacer siempre y cuando, claro, mantenga el sentido, pero no tenga, sea una oración que no tenga nada que ver con el continuo. Por ejemplo, el pasado perfecto. Okay? So, yes, that will be, okay?
Okay, perfect, Miss. Thank you.
All right, so you can also use more subjects, right? There is no problem, okay? So you have the option to conjugate as your context requires. Okay, so just try not to avoid the repetition in order to not to sound redundant. And we're going to continue with point number 4. But we're going to finish with point number 4, so let's listen.
Remember, we use the past continuous to focus on the activity, not the end of the activity. Often the activity is not finished. What was I saying? In this example, Talia was interrupted by Nick's commercial before she finished talking about the investigation. We use the simple past to focus on the completion of the activity.
What did Talia say?
In this example, Talia finished talking.
Okay, in our last point, we have the question, okay? And we use the past continuous to focus on the activity, not at the end of the activity. Often the activity is not finished, okay? So in this case, right, we could have, oh, yes, in this point, right, we have some actions, right, that have that could have a consequence, okay, or may continue for some reason, okay. Vamos a recordar el pasado simple, son para acciones que han pasado y ya, no han vuelto o no tienen alguna relevancia en el presente. Esa es la principal característica del pasado simple. Cuando utilizamos el pasado continuo y probablemente algún otro tiempo como el perfecto, algún tiempo perfecto, tienen la característica de poder tener una relevancia en el presente o no. What I was saying, for example, let's look at this curious example. What was I saying? What was I saying? Okay. So, for example, we were talking, okay, or we are talking, okay, we have a discussion right now. We're talking about the government, for example. We are sharing our opinions, okay. So how about that sentence? For example, yes, and then you know what? I really like I don't like how it works, and then blah 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 blah. Then how about our friend, right? Came or joined, or I don't know, for some reason she interrupted the action, okay? The action that we were talking, okay? So the person interrupt us, okay? So what happened? The action is stopped, okay? Need to stop. So, excuse me, do you know where is the bathroom? Oh yes, it's just right in the corner on the right, for example. Okay, thank you. Don't worry. So, you know, Rosario, what I was saying, what was I saying? Okay. Oh, yes, I was saying that I really don't like the government, and then blah, 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 blah. Okay, so as you can see, the action, it could be a relevance, right? Could have a relevance, I mean, and have the option to be continued, okay? Often, not always, often, okay? We're not saying currently and not often, okay? Not almost all of the time, right? It often happens. Yes, it happens, right? Then, yes, that was my example. That's what I didn't notice this part. That was what I explained a minute ago. When the action just finished, okay? For example, yes, and that was everything. Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing your opinion, Rosario. Yes, it was great to know how you think, and then yes, thank you. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye. Right, that's all. Then I'm going to meet with my other friend. Okay, and he's going to ask me, what did Rosario say? okay? Because we're not talking anymore, the action is stopped, okay? La diferencia es que probablemente, si bien puede que el día de mañana te vuelva a hablar, estamos hablando de que esta parte, often the activity is not finished. ¿Y por qué decimos often y por qué decimos often the activity is not finished? Porque when we talk about the action, okay, when the action is in progress, but then it is interrupted, okay, there is not a long time to continue the action. No pasa mucho tiempo entre lo que se ha interrumpido la acción, o se ha parado la acción, entre lo que va a continuar, ¿ok? Por eso decimos que solamente a veces o de vez en cuando se puede continuar con la acción, ¿ok? No tiene que pasar mucho tiempo, no hay un periodo de tiempo, pero sin embargo me consta que te voy a volver a hablar, que somos compañeras de clase y demás, ¿ok? Entonces, hay que tener mucho cuidado. Sin embargo, si una señora me pregunta en la calle, ¿dónde está la calle, la plaza principal? Entonces le diré a la señora, ahí está en la esquina y demás. Pero yo no le voy a volver a ver a la señora. Entonces, ¿cómo sé si no voy a entablar una conversación con ella? Es decir, es una conversación que ha pasado una vez y no va a volver a pasar. Porque no la conozco a la señora, no tengo ningún vínculo, es una señora que viene del extranjero, mil opciones, pero el punto es que no va a volver a pasar. Es una acción que ha empezado y ha terminado. Eso es todo. No tiene relevancia. ¿Ok? A diferencia del pasado continuo y que puede que la acción no haya terminado, tengo que ver si ha pasado mucho tiempo, ¿no? ¿Ok? Entonces estamos hablando de algún tema en específico. Vino alguien, no, interrumpió el tema, entonces no ha pasado mucho tiempo, okay? So yes, that could be the explanation for the past continuous, right? And when we say that often the activity is not finished, okay? So remember, there is you have to see what is the context and then. Do you get it?
Not really. There is a lot of information. I don't really get it at all. So, for example, my first question is, for example, often the activity is not finished. I don't really get it. What was your explanation? So, as I hear, when you use past continuous, it's an activity that is finished. So why the book said often the activity is not finished? I don't really get it. Sorry. I know that
Yes,
you
it's okay.
explain me.
Yes, it's okay. Don't worry. I'm here to help you, right? Okay. I'm trying with another example. Okay, when it says often the activity is not finished, okay, it's because the interaction was interrupted, in other words. Okay, so, and that was the example I gave you, right? And that's the reason why we say often, because it not always happened, okay? But there are some cases that, yeah, we are going to have that situation, okay? So in other words, when the action is interrupted, okay, the action could be not completed. So I need to finish my action because we had a conversation in this case. We are talking about one subject, okay? Then one girl came here and she interrupted us, okay? She asked for the time, for example, okay? I told her what time it was. So the girl told me, thank you, that's all, right? And she just continued on her way. And okay, so Rosario, what was I saying? Oh, yes, you were saying that the subject is hard. Oh, yes, and as I was saying, there is one teacher, right, and we are going to continue with the conversation. something particular that has this conversation. Okay, it was the interruption that we had. Okay, so that could be the only case, the only cases that we could say that the action is not finished. Okay, when the conversation is just finished, right? So there was no interruption. We finished with the conversation, and that's all. So we're going to use the simple past. Okay. When the action is finished at all, right? We're going to use the simple past. When the action is interrupted, we're going to use the past continuous. Because if you start something, you have to finish, okay? So I was drinking my coffee, okay? Suddenly a girl came up and then I stopped drinking, okay? So I'm going to continue drinking my coffee right now. So as you can see, there was an interrupted action, okay? So again, when the action, okay, when the action was interrupted, okay, only was interrupted, we're going to use the past continuous. And that's the reason of why we have this, why often the activity is not finished, okay? Because we didn't finish the conversation until the girl came here and asked for something, okay? Cuando la acción es interrumpida, únicamente cuando es interrumpida, utilizamos el pasado continuo. Es decir, estábamos hablando cuando una muchacha se acerca y nos pregunta la hora, por la hora. Es 9 de la noche. Ok, muchas gracias. Se retira. Rosario, ¿qué te estaba diciendo? Ah, sí, exactamente, que la materia está muy complicada y demás. Entonces, ¿qué he hecho en esta acción? ¿O qué hemos hecho? Estábamos hablando, por un momento hemos dejado de hablar, porque la acción ha sido interrumpida, porque una chica ha venido y ya nos ha interrumpido, e inmediatamente hemos continuado con la acción de seguir hablando. Sin embargo, si es que eso sería todo por hoy, Rosario, muchas gracias. La acción ha terminado, no se ha interrumpido nada, ha estado en progreso y todo. Simplemente que la acción ya ha terminado, utilizamos el pasado siempre cuando no hubo ninguna interrupción. Todo es acorde a la interrupción, si hubo interrupción o no, ¿ok? Cuando hay una interrupción, por lo general continuamos ese mismo instante, ese mismo momento, tan pronto como se pueda con la actividad, ¿ok? Por eso es que utilizamos el pasado continuo y por eso tenemos often the activity is not finished, ¿ok? No siempre pasa, pero solo en casos de interrupción, nuevamente. Do you get it now?
Yeah, I get it now. Thanks, Miss. I think I got confused because I thought that when the book said open the activity is not finished, it's like the action it's not finished and you can use past continuous. But as I understand, so it's an activity that probably could, but you finish this activity, but probably you will continue the activity, but it doesn't matter, the activity finished, right? For something reason.
Okay, could you please give me an example of 2 examples? I want to see if you really get it. One example in simple past and the other one in past continuous.
Simple past and past continuous. Okay. Well, I don't know. My cat was eating while I was taking my lunch. I don't know. So this
I was taking.
I was yeah, taking my lunch. So this is an example for past continuous.
All right.
An example for simple past. I don't know, my cat finished his meal, for example.
Yes, it's a good one, right? It's a good one. Now, in the second example, it means that the action just finished, and that's all, right? The plate of your cat is empty. That's all, right?
Yeah, and in
So
the first example, it's like the cat was eating, but it's not really. It doesn't matter if it finished or not. It was a past
yes,
activity, right?
yes. That's all. Yes, you get it, right? That's all. We don't focus. We're not interested if the activity, where where did the activity start or when it finished. No, my concentration is my focus. My attention goes to the progress action. Okay. If I want to focus my attention at at the end of the action, I'm going to use the simple past, right? Independientemente si la acción ha durado o no, cuando digo mi gato ha comido, no, mi gato comió, simple past, mi gato comió su comida. No estoy yéndome a que si ha durado 2 horas, 3 horas, si lo ha dejado, no. Me estoy yendo a que la acción ya ha terminado, ¿ok? Su plato está vacío y ya, eso es lo que quiero enfocarme, que ya ha terminado. Sin embargo, si voy a decir, my cat was eating his cookies, for example, right? Me estoy enfocando en que, en el progreso de la acción que estaba comiendo, ¿ok? Entonces, independientemente de cuándo ha terminado, que no es de mi interés, o bueno, no quisiera mencionarlo o no lo sé, pero no es de mi interés, mi atención va a la acción en progreso. Independientemente de eso, nuevamente nos enfocamos en la acción. Te puedes dar cuenta que entre estos dos tiempos verbales es el enfoque, otra cosa que hay que tomar en cuenta antes de decidir qué tiempo verbal vamos a utilizar. A word that or word is going to be my attention to my to the progress action or to end of the action, I mean, okay? So everything is about the attention, your focus, okay? Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it. Thanks, Miss. It's all clear.
Okay, that's cool. Yes, and we sometimes get confused with this sentence, especially if we don't recognize maybe what could be the characteristic of that. So just remember, where do I want to focus my attention? To the action in progress or the end of the sentence? Okay. So for that, you have the option to decide which of these action could be better for your context, okay? And yes, that will be everything about the last point. And notice the structure of the question. We have the question number 1, question number 2 in different sentences. This is a WH question. Okay, let's remember WH questions are those questions, or information questions are also called. Okay. That starts with WH, okay? What, where, when, and then. Okay, we're going to continue with the structure. So first we're going to choose the verb to be, okay? So verb to be, the subject, and the main verb, okay? If in my question, okay, first goes my subject, and then goes my verb to be. In question, okay, first goes my verb to be, okay, so we're only changing the places, okay?
Yeah.
And then we continue with the subject. And
Yep.
we're only adding, okay, we're only adding the WH, and the structure continues as if it could be a yes/no question, because if I'm going to raise this, it is going to change into a yes/no questions. Those questions that requires yes or no. There is no, I don't, it's unnecessary to give information because it's only a yes/no. Okay, we have 2 types of questions, the WH and the yes/no. Okay.
Yeah, but in this case, it's no way to change this sentence in information question, right? Because it don't respond you. The answer it's not
It doesn't?
yes or no.
Oh, what I was saying, what do you mean? If this structure is correct?
No. If this sentence in a specific, it can use two information question if it's possible to change in information question. No, right?
This is already this is an information question because we have what. So,
No. Yeah, I get confused. Yes, no question, miss.
oh, okay. What was I saying? Yes, for this one could be incorrect. Okay, because the answer could be yes or no. So what was I saying? Was I saying? No, it's wrong. Right. So yes, necessary. For that reason, we really need the information question, right? Because it doesn't make sense if I only say was I saying, right? So yes, were you watching TV? Yes. Okay, or no? Were you drinking coffee? Yes, I was drinking coffee, and that's all. Or no, I wasn't drinking coffee. Okay, so in this context, yes, it was only an example, but it doesn't make sense. Okay, you really need the WH. Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it. Thanks, miss.
Was it your question?
Yep.
Okay, so if it was only an example, right? I didn't notice that part. So you need to see if it is a yes, no, or if it's an information. But remember, the structure is the same. The only thing that I'm doing is adding the WH, and that's all. Okay.
Okay, miss.
All right, that's cool. So, okay, so because it is time, we're going to stop until this part. I would like to do some exercise, but then I have to present the grades from our courses. So we're going to stop until this part, please, right?
Okay, no worries.
So please don't forget the homework, and I'm gonna see you on Monday, right? Because it's a
We have a
holiday,
holiday,
right?
yeah.
Friday, it's holiday.
Okay, a large holiday. Okay.
Yes, it
Will
is.
be good.
Yes, that's cool. Yes, that's my same thought.
Okay.
Is it done?
Yeah. The poll is finished.
Is there any question maybe?
No, miss. I had a question, but it does. I will write you for the question. It's only for links that send me the coordinator at the start in the class. Start in the classes. So I want to know what is the object, or I don't know how to express, but
The purpose?
and how is the due date in that. So it's a link with noun, subjects, objects, I think. The
What?
coordinator told me that I had to present tests with that topic. So I got confused, but with the change of coordinator, I forgot. But
Okay, okay. Give me a second. Give me a second. I got lost. Could you please explain me this in Spanish?
okay. Al inicio de lo que son las clases del TOEFL, la primera coordinadora me mandó lo que es un link en donde me dijo que necesitaba hacer como ese link para seguir manteniendo lo que es el TOEFL garantizado. Y pues con el cambio, tuve lo que perdí el celular y perdí como que toda esa información. Y ya le pedí que me volviera a enviar, pero igual con el cambio de coordinadora, pues ya no supe qué hacer y sinceramente pues lo olvidé. Entonces, quería saber cómo es el tiempo de finalizar eso, o en qué tiempo tengo que dar los exámenes, como que no estoy entendiendo bien esa parte. Porque al finalizar de cada, solo vi un tema, pero al finalizar es como que envía este mensaje a tal número diciendo que quieres dar el test. Entonces,
Oh, okay. It is a quiz, right?
sí, o sea, el link te redirige a lo que es su página y ahí hay como temas de nouns, numbers, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. Si no estoy mal, creo que es un examen de TOEFL. Sí, 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 es el mismo que nos toma, que pues siempre nos toman. Creo que es ese. Y se tiene que resolver para ver cómo se está avanzando con el avance. Si no estoy mal, es el de TOEFL, right? Que una vez que termines el examen, tienes que enviar tus datos al encargado y te envían tus notas a 2 días a más tardar. Si no estoy mal, si me hablas de un link que te preguntan y te dicen para enviar algo así, algo que te entendí, es ese examen. Es una simulación, en realidad no es un examen que cuenta como nota, sino que es una simulación para ver cómo se está avanzando y ver qué tal se está con el nivel, en qué cosas hay que mejorar. ¿Ok? El día de
Yeah,
mañana,
okay.
el día de mañana le voy a hablar a la coordinadora. Porque sí, es que creo que el anterior coordinador era pasante, entonces hacen su pasantía y ya cambian. Creo que sí era una pasantía. Entonces, ni bien tenga la información, te voy a hacer saber, pero dame mañana hasta mañana para confirmar si es este link que estoy pensando o si es que es otro. Igual te lo voy a hacer saber, pero necesito preguntarle a la coordinadora acerca de esto antes de darte más información. ¿Ok?
Yeah, I already sent you the links. So if you want to check, but the lesson is nouns, basic grammatical structures, question and answers. I sent you with a message. So if you can check and tell me what happened.
Oh, no, no, it's not the tougher one.
Yeah, I think no. So it's up to me when I will finish.
No estoy segura. Es primera vez que veo esto. Eh, me imagino que es como un test para ver en qué hay que mejorar. Ajá.
Okay.
Es como un
Yeah.
examen. Bueno, más que un examen, me imagino que no, no es una simulación, es un examen. No es un examen. Ah, le voy a preguntar mañana a la coordinadora, por favor. Tan
Okay.
pronto tenga información, te la voy a hacer saber, sí, pero dame hasta mañana en la mañana. Ella no, no eh, siempre está conectada, trabajas a partir de las 8, entonces dame por favor hasta mañana en la mañana y te confirmo.
Okay. Perfect, Miss, because I was worrying about a due date because I don't want to lose the TOEFL program, so I didn't know what happened with that.
Sí,
So
está bien. No, no te preocupes, vamos a tratar de solucionar, pero le voy a preguntar primero a la coordinadora de qué se trata, ¿sí?
okay, thanks, Miss.
All right, thank you.